Hey, what's going on, guys? BSG Trek Fan 88 here, and in my last video, I announced that I was coming down with a cold. That was Sunday. It's now Wednesday. Um, I woke up Monday feeling the same way I did Sunday. And I was like, okay, this is a tough cold. I might have to call out of work. Forgive me, bright light kind of annoys me right now. I felt really crappy. There we go, that's better. So, um, you know, I called out of work for the first time on Tuesday. I technically called out Monday night. I texted my boss. I said, "Look, I won't be able to make it. I'm way too sick." And I called Tuesday morning at 5:30 before anybody got there. So even if he didn't get the text, they had plenty of time. Which, if you're a good worker and you know you're sick the day before, and you know you're not going to work, don't ever wait till the day of. Number one, it's convenience, okay, because they have to find someone, at least in most retail jobs, to cover your shift or plan accordingly. With the post office, it's a little different. That's a route that's not going to have someone to deliver mail, so they have to split up the route. They have to figure out who's going to carry what, which is why I really don't like calling out of work for any reason. So, with the exception of the fire, and with the exception of the car accident, because I literally couldn't walk, I called out for the first time. So that was Monday night. I woke up Tuesday, so day 3, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I was like, no, this is not a cold, okay? Symptoms, fever of 102, 103. It fluctuated depending on medication that I took. So, decent fever, chills like I've never had before, which thank God they don't last that long. Um, Cough, sore throat, stuffy, runny nose, um, general aches and pains, sensitivity to bright light, which I still have, which is why I look like a Chinaman. No racist comment intended. Which is why I'm trying to keep my eyes low. So I went to the ER because my primary care physician I haven't seen in forever, and I didn't have an appointment scheduled. And there's no walk-in clinics near here that would see me because they were full. And the only one that would technically see me was a CVS Minute Clinic, but no. My other symptom, which is what scared me the most, was the fact that I was extremely dehydrated no matter how much water I drank. I don't have it next to me, but I cleaned out my room when I got home last night. I drank 2 gallons of water and a 2-liter bottle of ginger ale in the course of about 24 hours, and I was still like, okay, being dehydrated. When you say, "Oh, I'm dehydrated," okay, well, it's one thing if you run a marathon and you know your body needs fluids to be replenished, but when your mouth is so dry that it's not just dry like after a night of drinking, you wake up the next day with a hangover and you're like, "Oh, I'm thirsty," and your mouth is kind of cotton mouth. No, this was my lips were completely dry. I had, you know, white gook on the top of my mouth. It's gross. Long story short, I could tell even doing the pinch test, which by the way, a way to tell if you're dehydrated is if you pinch the skin and it stays like right. See how it took a second to go back down. Oh, okay. Yesterday or the other day when I did that, it didn't go back down. It stayed up. That's very, very bad. So I told my mom, I was like, look, I gotta go to the hospital, and I can't drive myself. I wouldn't trust it. So she's like, okay, I'll take you to the ER. So after waiting for 2 hours almost, I get seen. I get an IV put in, thank God, to replenish my fluids, and I get a couple tests done. Doctor asks questions, and came back with something kind of scary. He goes, well, given your symptoms you have, and the fact that you said that your neck was kind of stiff, which I told him my whole body was, my lower back and my neck was stiff because I've been laying in bed or in my computer chair for the past 3 days. And he goes, okay, I'll take that, but you could have two things here. You most likely have the flu, which I'll talk about in a minute, or you have meningitis. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, the only way that we can test for that, if it's not the flu, if your flu tests don't come back positive, is a spinal tap. And I'm like, let's hope it's the flu. So they do the test, and I'm literally in a bed from about 4:30, like a ER bed, until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. and they draw a shitload of blood. They do the nasal swab, which sucks. They had a very hard time finding a vein, or not finding a vein, but getting it to give blood because I was so dehydrated. Which I've had a lot of IVs done before. I've never had, like, they tried so many times my left hand. It's still tender, and it's been almost a day. Like, it really is tender. Now, most of the time, like this one, which they tried once, it's not bad. This one still hurts. So the tests came back positive for the flu or influenza type A. And it's now Wednesday, and I am not cleared to go back to work until a minimum of Saturday if I feel better. Even if I feel better Friday, they want an extra day, Thursday, they want an extra day. However, they say, the flu can last anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks. That's the problem with the flu. A cold, 1 to 2 days, you can go back to work. You feel like crap, but you can work. So this is when I said I was going to talk about the flu, this is what I'm talking about. You don't fuck around with the flu. Everybody who gets a cold or a really bad cold, I got the flu, I'm dying. No. You out there on YouTube land, my subscribers, we've all had colds before. They suck, or maybe you've had a stomach bug. Those suck too. The flu, and whether it's type A or B, I guess type C is nowhere near as bad. You don't mess around with the flu. You're severely dehydrated. You have extreme fatigue. You have sensitivity to light. I laid in bed almost all day Monday. So when I got out of bed, just to take a piss or tell my mom I got to go to the hospital, I was done. Like, I literally went back and just collapsed on my bed. It's one of those things where I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I'm not saying I feel like death, I'm going to die. There were moments when I did feel like that, especially when I had the chills and I was shivering in my bed for an hour. But the fact that I drank so much, I don't know the technical wording here, so many fluids, so much fluidity, and I was still, I could tell I was still thirsty, I was still dehydrated, I was like, what the fuck? Because when you have a cold and you have the sweats, when you drink fluid, you sweat, so it's going in your body, it's coming back out. And I'm like, where the hell's all my water going if I'm drinking it? So I have a doctor's note. I called my boss, and he's like, it sucks that you're out for a week, but even he said, the flu, don't mess with the flu. You come back when you're better. I don't like calling out of work, but no. I've had colds in the past, or I've had a runny nose, and you suck it up. You take some Dayquil during the day, you take some NyQuil during the night. I have yet to talk about the worst thing here, and that's the headache. And that's the big thing that I mentioned meningitis before. He said that, stiff neck, severe headache, and my other symptoms could be meningitis. My headache has been so bad until today. Today it's actually been a little bit better, I will be honest with you. It's probably because I'm drinking a shitload of more good fluid. Unfortunately, it's not my schnapps, but no, I'm kidding. I would never do that. I've had headaches before, and I've had migraines, and when you have those, you take a migraine pill like Excedrin, or you just be patient, don't read, don't look at bright light, and eventually it goes away. This fucking headache has been centered in the back of my head. It's been so bad. I had the most powerful non-narcotic painkiller, which is like a 800 milligram ibuprofen, and that didn't do shit. Like, literally, I was like, all right, I took it 2 hours ago, the headache's still here. Tylenol, Advil, Aleve. I literally had my mom go to the CVS and get every kind of migraine and headache medicine, like the small little 2-packs, just to try. Nothing. And I would alternate every 4 hours, take the different ones and see which one would do better. Because you can do that. You can take as long as it's every 4 hours, once it's in your system, that's how long it takes to run its course for the most part. Even though it says it lasts all day, you can take something different every 4 hours. So I told him that last night. I said, look, during the day I'll suck it up. But the big thing is that I haven't slept well. Like, I literally haven't slept more than a half hour until last night. Half hour every night. I would constantly fall asleep, nap, and then wake up extremely dehydrated and with the headache. So luckily, they gave me Tylenol 3, which for you enthusiasts out there, yes, it's Tylenol with codeine in it. So yeah, it gives you a nice little buzz when you take it. But honestly, last night when I got home and I took it, it was the first time in Sunday, Monday, Tuesday that I didn't have the headache, and it was such a nice fucking feeling. So anyway, video is 10 minutes now. I just want to give you guys an update. I am alive. I still feel like crud. I think I'm on the path of getting better. I still have the symptoms. I still think I have a fever. I don't have a thermometer. I meant to buy one when we went to the ER. So it's just a waiting game. It's just keeping hydrated. It's just resting. I really shouldn't be on my computer, but I've been on it for the past few days, kind of catching up on emails and a couple of videos. Like the people I watch on YouTube, like CTFXC, Apprentice A, Technoman, all anyway. So videos have been put on hiatus. But I made that telescope video just because I felt I had to, because I was getting so many questions and I had nothing else to do. If you've had the flu, if you've legitimately had the flu, like not a cold that you thought was like you go to the hospital and you get diagnosed and you say, yep, it's the flu, comment below. Did you have the same symptoms? Did you have different symptoms? How long did it last? Let's have a conversation. But I wouldn't wish this on anyone. This has knocked me on my ass more so than I would like my pride to admit. And the fact that it's putting me out of work for almost a week. But given my job, how I'm outside in the cold, walking, lifting, I couldn't do it. Plus the fact, do your employers really want you spreading this contagious disease around work? No. Can you imagine the post office with 6 out of 12 carriers out for weeks? No. Anyway, this is BSG Track 88. Still alive. Have a good night, guys.